comes as the U.S. official tasked with securing a ceasefire in Lebanon between Israel and Hezbollah is due to be in Beirut Tuesday. Lebanon is expected to give its response to a new U.S. truce proposal during that visit. The diplomacy, though, has been complicated by an Israeli demand for the freedom to act should Hezbollah violate any agreement, something Lebanon has so far rejected. Well, over the past few weeks, several Israeli strikes on Baalbek in East Lebanon and on Tyre in the south hit close to ancient Roman ruins that have been designated as UNESCO World Heritage sites. A special session is being held at UNESCO in Paris today to try and safeguard Lebanon's heritage with enhanced protection. On Sunday, a petition came out calling on the UN to establish so-called no-target zones in Lebanon. That petition was signed by some 300 prominent cultural figures, including archaeologists and academics. We're going to talk more about the cultural threat to Lebanon now with Joanne Farchakh Bajjaly. Joanne, thanks for joining us. You're an archaeologist. You're also the founder of Biladi Lebanon, which is an NGO dedicated to promote and safeguard heritage. I mean, let's start with the destruction that's happened already. How bad is it?
Hello, thank you for hosting me. Well, the destruction that has been going on for the archaeological site is rather very bad. The weapons that are being used, but here we'd like to distinguish that there are two levels of archaeological sites. There's the World Heritage sites that haven't been directly targeted, meaning that the bombing did not include the remains, but the surrounding of the remains. Here we are seeing the photos of Baalbek, the Roman temples of Baalbek, also listed as World Heritage sites. And the targeted was for the buildings in the surroundings area. That was a 400-year-old house that was used in the parking as a place for artisanal. There has been, but when the evacuation plan for Baalbek was launched 2 weeks ago, the temples and the World Heritage Site was not excluded, and that has put the threat on the site in an extremely high level. Plus, of course, there's the risk of the continuous vibration movement of the soil, of the ground surface and the surface because of the very heavy bombing taking place around them.
Indeed.
The sites that have been...
No, continue. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that the sites that have been extremely damaged are actually the historical houses and the historical souks and mosques located in the villages, 10 towns located in the south and in the Bekaa that are not protected, that were heavily, in many cases, they have just been destroyed and turned into ashes.
So how many civilians, Joanne, actually fled to these cultural sites thinking that they might be safer there than in other parts of Lebanon?
No, people have tried to take refuge in the World Archaeological Site of Baalbek, but the usage of the site as shelter was refused to them, and they were asked to leave. So the archaeological sites are remaining, unopened to the public to take shelter in them, and that was a decision made by the Lebanese authorities to do not allow people to enter the site and take shelter for two reasons. One, it will threaten their own lives, as if they are to be targeted, they will be targeted, and then it will cause the destruction of the site. And of course, that doing this act will automatically remove the site from being a listed site based on the Hague Convention of 1954.
So the IDF, for its part, says that it's targeting these areas because they are both Hezbollah strongholds. As far as you know, is that the case?
No, it's not the case. These are the... Here we'd like to distinguish again whether we're talking about the main archaeological sites that are located within the historical cities and that have always been used as archaeological sites. And there was no sheltering. And whether we're talking about the historical houses located in the villages and in the nearby houses or the mosques that have been heavily destroyed. Over there, we can see that the destruction was made on the villages, proclaiming that there are tunnels under them. But then we could see on the aerial photography that the surface did not, that was still intact, so there was no tunnels beneath them. And here we're using, for documenting this, we're using aerial photography.
So now today in Paris at UNESCO, there is a meeting that is underway to establish these so-called no-target zones in Lebanon. Do you think that this will be successful?
We definitely hope it will be successful. Lebanon is requesting for an enhanced protection for 34 sites. And this request with the UNESCO is challenging all the 1954 convention to put in practice a modality of securing and safeguarding archaeological sites. Plus to this list, there's the no strike list that you are referring to as no hit list that is being proclaimed and asked for around the world.
So if indeed this goes through and these no-target zones are established and there is a way to better protect these sites in Lebanon, do you think that that will actually be enough, or is the damage that's done already going to have more serious consequences down the line?
Fortunately, it will not be enough. It's a very, very good start, but it's not enough because we have limited the protection to 34 sites, but we still have all the historical houses located within the villages. That's plus the fact that the damage that have been done already by the heavy destruction has already caused a lot of damage. So let's say it's a very good start towards enhancing protection and raising awareness about cultural heritage being targeted, but more measures need to be made to secure the rest of the historical houses and then find a way to restore or reconstruct what has been destroyed.
Joanne, thank you for sharing your expertise with us. Joanne Farchakh Bajjaly, thank you.